What's happening, friends and folks in general? It's Robb Z coming at you again in the fourth lesson, and we're finally going to give you the last piece of the puzzle with regards to understanding the importance of tasks and goals and vision. And today's lesson is going to be all about dreams. So I want to recap what we've talked about so far, talk about dreams and how they fall into this whole mix. And then I'm going to give you a truncated version of what I call the circles talk, which is an amazing lesson that we share with our one-on-one coaching clients through PACT or the Impact guided coaching programs. So again, just to recap, number one, we talked about tasks. All right, we talked about tasks being the tactical progress. They exist to give you tactical progress. They've got a hard deadline, and they're typically a 1 to 14 day time frame to get those accomplished. Then we talked about goals. Goals being anywhere from 30 days to 18 months, depending on if it's a short-term goal, a long-term goal, or even a keystone goal. The purpose of those is to give you focus and direction. And then with regards to a deadline, yes and no. It kind of depends on the goal and it depends on you. Last video, we talked about vision and we started moving up the chain. We talked about how vision, it should, time frame wise, it's in that 2 to 5 or 7 year category. The purpose of that is to give you passion and vision. And time frame, as far as the deadline goes, not so much. And one of the keys that we talked about was when you have clear vision, the time frame doesn't really matter, the deadline I should say, because most people that we work with end up realizing their vision or living their vision way sooner than that 5 to 7 year time frame. So now the thing I want to talk about today is the dream. This is the big picture. This is the granddaddy of them all. This is what truly gives you purpose in life. Okay, so when we talk about dreams, time frame wise, we're talking about decades, maybe even generations. As far as that's the timeline and time frame, I should say. There's no set end date on this at all. This is just an ongoing big picture contributing to the greater good. The purpose of this, I said earlier, the purpose of a dream is to give your life meaning. My favorite example of this comes from actually a friend of mine, a really fun conversation I had with a friend of mine, Dr. Abbott. So Dr. Abbott, if you're watching, here's your shout out, my man. So we're having a conversation, and Dr. Abbott, he is a dental oncologist, meaning his patients are cancer patients or people recovering from cancer. So it's a whole different chemistry experiment when you're dealing with cancer patients and their dental needs. He is one of, I think, 4 or 6 people who does what he does at the level that he does in the entire country. So people will literally, if you think about when you go to the dentist and hey, we'll see you in 6 months, and they put you in the book. Well, Dr. Abbott's patients, when they say we'll see you in 6 months, these folks get on the internet and book their plane ticket because they're flying from all over the country to get care from Dr. Abbott. He's an amazing physician, he's an amazing dentist, and I'm honored to call him a friend because he's a heck of a human being as well. So we were hanging out one night and we were talking about tasks and goals and dreams and all the kind of stuff that you've been watching and listening to. And he made an interesting comment. He goes, Rob, I would love to not have a job. And I immediately, my blink was, you're a moron. I'm like, Dennis, I call him Dennis. I'm like, you're literally one of 4 or 6 people in the entire country that does what you do at the level that you do it. I said, your clients, your patients, I should say, they love you. They literally book plane tickets to come see you every 6 months for their cleanings and the services you provide and for you to take care of them. I don't understand. You love what you do and you tell me you don't want a job. He goes, yeah, I would love to not have to work on cancer patients. I would love to not have to work with cancer patients. I would love to know that there's a cure for cancer so I never had to deal with the challenges and that these folks are dealing with. He goes, it's not about me, it's about them. At which point I'm like, wow, he's like, it's really my dream to help find a cure for cancer. Now, when you talk about that within the context of dreams, we talked about how it gives his life purpose to know that every day he's showing up, working towards finding a cure for cancer. It may not happen in his lifetime, but that doesn't stop him from every day showing up to his practice and actively working with other medical professionals in identifying traits of cancer patients and with a goal, or I should say a dream, of helping achieve that goal of finding a cure for cancer. So that's what it means to have a dream. It is literally the big picture thing that drives you, pulls you, propels you, whatever word you want to use. So let's transition this in within the context of everything else we've talked about. And so this is the circles talk. So if you're a client, had this conversation, stick around. It's going to be an awesome refresher course. If you've never heard this before, double down and pay attention, because this is absolutely the most life-changing lesson that a lot of our clients ever get. So if we're all here at point A and we want to get over here to point B, and we're going to call point A where you are in life. This is today. And point B is where you want to be, right? This could be the dream. This could be down the road. This could be eyes on the prize, whatever it is. You all know that the fastest way to get from point A to point B is a straight line. So if we're going to call point B where you want to go, we're going to know that on the way, you've got tasks, you've got goals, you've got your vision, and then now we've got the dream. Here's the challenge that most people have, is they find themselves only focused on seeing the tasks in their day-to-day. When you find yourself focused on just seeing the tasks, let me back up. If you've ever had the experience where you feel like you work and work and work and work and work, and you get a lot done, but you always come up short on achieving your goals, like you're always coming in at 85 or 90 or maybe even 95%, but you don't get all the way there, it's likely due to this phenomenon. It's because you're so focused on working on the task at hand. It's not that you don't achieve the goal, it's that you don't even see it. If you can imagine that this is your line of sight, and when you're only focused on the tasks, the goals don't get achieved because you don't see the goals. So the way to fix this is to make bigger goals and shift the focus to the goals so that you're not hung up on the tasks. You're not blinded to the goals by the tasks. Now you can see where the challenge with this, if we follow the logic, is now we're going to have a problem achieving the vision because we're anchored to the goals, and that blocks the line of sight on the vision and therefore the dream as well. So what we work on with our clients, and what I would encourage you to do, is always be anchored to this dream. Be anchored to the biggest picture thing you can and make it way bigger than you're comfortable with. And when I say way bigger, if we're using the circles thing, I'm talking about something like this. Because when you've got this type of view, you can see that everything else gets captured along the way. So I'll go back to some of the lessons we talked about earlier. If you find yourself coming up short, I'd encourage you to ask yourself, what are you paying attention to? Are you anchored to tasks, and that's why you're coming up short on your goals? Are you coming up short on your vision? Are you not living the life you want to live because you're so focused on the smaller goals or even the tasks that it's in the way? Pay attention to what you're focused on. And anytime you find yourself stressed out, spun out, burned out, frustrated, all those negative thoughts, I'll tell you what I tell all of my clients, and that's move your thinking up a level. Stay anchored to the big picture dream. Stay anchored to a really clear vision, knowing that when you're anchored to that, the goals and the tasks that are on the way, it's not that they're not important, but they're less of an impact on your ability to achieve what you want to achieve and get where you want to get. I hope this has been a helpful lesson. It's one of the most life-changing and eye-opening lessons for a lot of our clients. If you love content like this, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone you know. Share this with the people in your life so that they can help support you getting where you want to go. All right, we're going to be back at it, likely with Roger next week. Always reach out to us with comments. Always reach out to us with questions. I'll look forward to seeing you in a future video. Make it a great rest of your day.